All right, we're back. This is the Harry Thomas Show, the August update. Today is August 25th, 2009. The website is located at harrythomas.info. I'm your host, Harry Thomas. And what we do here on this show is we document the push for a one-world government, for the New World Order, a one-world dictatorship, which includes implantable microchips, forced inoculations, and the total enslavement of humanity. Them are the plans that the globalists have for you. And every week we document their push for it. I finally have just gotten my voice back from a little bit from having laryngitis. It's not 100%, but we are moving on. The show is going to be delayed for a couple weeks. As for, there's a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I'm not going to be able to do a show, but there will be a September update, which will include everything that's going on with the swine flu vaccinations that they have in store for you and your family. Been able to get outside a lot so far this summer, and I say that, this is a good time of the year, especially for people who live in the north like me, to get out into the wilderness, so to say, and tighten up on some survival skills. I mean, that's really personally what I've been preparing for, is getting myself ready for whatever could happen in the future, no matter what it is. And this time of year is a good time to get out and start identifying edible plants. I've got all kinds of survival manuals up at the website, harrythomas.info, in the documents section. Utilize it while the website's up, because I see the internet, the future of the internet, declining. And I foresee the future of the truth movement, the patriot movement, freedom movement, whatever you want to call it, is going to be going back to hand-to-hand. Hand-to-hand combat is what I call it, where you're passing out DVDs, where you're passing out informational news stories and flyers to people, where you're engaging in the info war hand-to-hand, person-to-person. And I'd tell you what, I've been having a great time. Summertime is the best time to do this. I'd rather make stacks of DVDs. I think it reaches more people than this podcast on the internet here that I do. A lot of what, you find people out, especially in the summertime, at festivals, concerts, at the beach, in large numbers. And, a lot of people are like, well, I don't really want to engage with people. Well, you don't have to. One of the tricks that I do is I just leave it blank. I walk around and pass out blank DVDs. People ask what it is. I say it's a DVD about current events. Or I say it's about stuff that the mainstream media is hiding from the American people. Something like that. Therefore, I don't tell them it's the Obama deception, or I don't tell them it's a movie about 9/11. Let them pop it in and find out for themselves. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you go to a beach or something, you'd just be stirring up trouble. You understand what I'm saying? But I'll tell you, the one thing that I have been talking to everybody that I do come in contact about is not to take these upcoming flu shots. Oh my God, you want to talk about news stories? I'm going to have to put up a vaccine news page with all the stuff that I found. It's just too much to cover. But I'll be putting that stuff up, and any pertinent news stories that I come across, they will be up on my Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is at the main website, harrythomas.info. Get involved. Use the resources there. Survival books, books written about the New World Order, books written about total domination, and stuff that's outlining what the New World Order is doing to us. Our food supply is under attack. Our air supply is under attack. Our whole way of life is under attack by these global elite eugenicists who feel like they are entitled to run the world. And like I said, this time of the year is the best time of year to get out in nature, Find out what your weakness is, what your strengths are as far as survival techniques go. Get out in the woods, go camping. I went to a great place this summer camping. It was at Green Lake State Park in New York. And I'll tell you what, people look at you funny when you're out there looking at the weeds, because they look at it, they think it's the weeds. And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of varieties of different plants, some poisonous, some not. You know? What if someday I need to figure out, how to survive, how to eat, how to keep a fire going in the rain? How good are you at that stuff? And I'll tell you what, the best thing a person could do is actually get out and get some sunshine and get out of the house, especially people like myself who live in a city environment. Everybody has to have a plan. And it doesn't matter, if the New World Order succeeds at their world domination or not. Things come up where you end up in situations where you need to have a plan for all different kinds of scenarios in life. I suggest getting a backpack, filling it up with vital survival gear. I personally have a solar backpack, which is actually powerful enough to charge up a mini laptop. If you're on medications or you got something, stuff that you need for your health, you need to have that stuff ready, an extra supply of stuff like that. I mean, the time has come where we all need to have plans for different scenarios. And I try to help as much as I can over at the website, where I've got literally probably 100 or more survival guides. If you live in cold weather, it's cold weather survival techniques. I mean, this stuff put out by the Army and stuff. So go ahead and utilize that. Go ahead and link to it. Share it with your friends. And get out in the winter if you live in the north like I do in New York. Get out in the winter and practice survival techniques in the winter time too. I mean, this is the best advice I can give you right now on what to be prepared for. And the first thing is, do not give your kids these flu shots that they're going to be pushing for. And there is no doubt that there is a plan for a one world government, new world order. That's well documented. They are out in the public now admitting this. Obama went to a North American Union meeting, and he says that the North American Union needs aggressive action. I mean, they are moving in aggressively. Make no mistake about it. And right now, they've got a few cards that they have in play, that they can play. First of all, Obama's approval ratings are down. And historically, we've seen where when the approval ratings go down, a false flag terror event occurs. And they're going to need to pull off something big, because the public is on to them, especially when it comes to this health care. And there's an excellent article, there's a link to it up on my Twitter, where Mike Adams from Natural News wrote an article about what's really in Obama's health care reform bill, a plain English translation. And, this is nothing less than eugenics. The bottom line is the government has taken over industries, the car industry. They're going to take over the healthcare industry, okay? This is what fascist governments throughout history have done. That's what they do. That's why we have all these banks going under. They're consolidating power. And when they consolidate closer and closer to their interests. You understand what I'm saying? And these elitists are full-fledged eugenicists. They believe that 80-90% of the population needs to die so that they can have their utopia vision of their supremacy over a slave class. And it's very, very sick. Very, very sick. And that's why we're seeing these banks going under. That's why we're seeing the economy implode. We're going to see high amounts of inflation. And we're going to continue to see the decline of the dollar, because that's exactly what they need to get done in order to usher in their world currency, which China and several other major countries have already been calling for and announcing.